All right. Hi, everyone. If you are going to message me in the chat, I will probably not see it until my section's over, just so y'all know. So I'm going to talk about web resources, Microsoft Teams. So I know we have a lot of current officers. We have a lot of like brand new officers or existing officers that have been here for a while. But the main thing you need to know is like, where do you get information? If we're not on top of our email, which we always are, but if we're not on top of our email, where can you go first? If we're busy because we're doing one of these summit trainings or we're doing club fair and you have a quick question, where do you go to get these answers? Um, and you're always going to go to nau.edu/club resources. I'm going to pull it up and I'll walk through it briefly to make sure y'all know what all is on that website. Other things to know is we started this last year, and so far we have seen better communication with clubs and orgs and chapters. We want to keep that going. We are primarily using Microsoft Teams. So I recommend you get it downloaded on your computer, get it downloaded on your phone, make sure you have access. If you're checking right now and you realize, I think I'm supposed to have access, but I'm not sure, first make sure that whoever filled out your SOAR application put you as one of the two officers. If you're not one of those two officers, you don't need to worry about it. You just need to check in with them to make sure your club is on top of things. Um, if you are one of those two officers and you open up Teams and you're like, I don't see the channel that I'm supposed to be added to, that's when you should email us and we'll make sure that you have access. Okay. We add 2 officers for every single organization. Due to a cap we have on Microsoft Teams, we can't give you guys more, even if we love that y'all want to get information and all of that, but because there's a cap on the channel, we do have to limit it. And we want to make sure that it's not just one officer with the responsibility. So we don't allow orgs to have either one officer or 3 or more than that. We do add all advisors, primary and secondary, and we add any coaches if you have them. So make sure you're checking that. We're going to be busy today, so we won't be able to fix Microsoft Teams right away, but in the next coming weeks, go ahead and make sure you have it. For example, what we have live on the Microsoft Teams right now is Club Fair. So if you have registered already, I think we're coming on about 200 orgs that have already signed up. Thank y'all so much. We know it's a busy summer. We really appreciate it. If you're not one of those 200 applications, make sure you're checking Microsoft Teams and you're getting on it if you want to be. During the semester, we approximately give weekly updates throughout the semester. We also try to give plenty of reminders, especially for really important things like making sure you complete the trainings, making sure you're doing the mandatory quiz for this training, for example, making sure you complete SOAR on time. Really important things. We're going to blast reminders through there. But there's also other things that come up. So last semester and last year, we had some opportunities like funding opportunities that only people who were checking the Microsoft Teams ended up having access to. So it's not just like, all of the scary important things that we might freeze your org over. It's also like, first come, first serve type of opportunities. So I want to make sure y'all are on top of that. We want to make sure that you know. And just like our email, like we answer questions on there all the time. So other helpful links, if you are a part of Greek Life, if you're a part of FSL, which is Fraternity Sorority Life, there is nau.edu/FSL. And then we also have nau.edu/get involved. Salvador, will you be able to share club resources or would you like me to?
What works best for you?
I can pull it up.
Yep, I'll stop sharing then.
Alrighty. And so nau.edu/club resources, okay? If you ever ask us a question, we will always tell you nau.edu/club resources. Put that in your brain, memorize it. Some of the stuff that, let's say you don't have access to Microsoft Teams, we try to keep this updated as well for anybody who's not added to it. So we do understand that only, for example, currently registered organizations have contacts in Microsoft Teams. And that can be a barrier at times, especially if you are having tech issues with it. So a lot of things that are really important are also going to be copy pasted onto this website. So there's a little blurb, you can read it if you want. And then there's all of these like drop down menus, and they go into a whole bunch of detail. They're super helpful. First and foremost, our most updated student org manual, you click right here and you'll be able to open it up and access it. A lot of questions get answered in the manual. We'll talk about it a little bit more later in the training. But that is like your first go-to guide. You can control find in it and you can find whatever you need. This is going to be a little outdated, especially because thank goodness you all registered. Thank you so much. But let's say you don't have access to the teams and you got frozen and you don't know what's going on. We will have SOAR requirements as best as we can on the website here. Individual consultation. So if you have something important coming up, like you're trying to get funding for a specific event, you're trying to plan a really big event on campus, you're having conflict in your org, things like that, we do offer one-on-one consultations. You just need to email studentorgs@nau.edu. And we can go ahead and throw you on our calendar and meet with you for like 30 minutes. Online tutorials, these are currently being updated, so there's only a few here right now. But let's say you want a more in-depth training and you don't necessarily want to meet with us one-on-one, you will have access to these trainings that you can watch on your own. I try to keep them like 10 minutes short, but y'all can let me know if y'all like them or not. Hazing prevention. Clearly, we're going to have Summer Summit here. The Get Involved Lounge, y'all can come by, y'all can advertise your organizations, you can just come and hang out. This is going to be a new open space for all clubs and orgs to come by. Club headquarters is upstairs. You can get printing needs, painting needs, balloons, walkie-talkies. There's a whole bunch of fun stuff upstairs. Club storage, this is the application that you can get yourself a little cubby upstairs as well if you have stuff and you don't want to keep hauling it to your dorm room and everything. Club funding, we're going to go over more next time. But food waivers, sometimes we'll tell you, make sure you have a food waiver for all of your needs. There you go. Here's the link for it. Student org travel, we know that can be a pain and we're going to go over it more too. But again, all of this information that you could possibly want is on here. So if you have any questions about that, check it out. Hey, I'm ending my screen share. Oh, there you go. Okay, pardon with me. Here you go. This is what Teams looks like. You're not going to have as many channels as this. Hopefully, if you do, you're killing it. The team that you're going to be looking for is this one called Student Clubs and Greek Chapters. So you'll be able to click into it. And these are where we put those weekly announcements that I was telling you about, important updates, things like that. TrueBlue Connects, if you go to files here, there's going to be specific TrueBlue Connect resources. If you go to officer files, if you're an officer or an executive, here's a whole bunch of resources just for execs. Feel free, if you're the person in charge of the teams, to download these and share these with your team as necessary. Advisors have their own files as well, including our newly updated advisor guide. Training is where you're going to find the summit recordings, the monthly meeting recordings as necessary, those types of things. And this is also the same for advisors or coaches that need to fill in on that. So yeah.